that probably was one of the best scales that I've heard you play. So that was really nice. The sound was really strong. It was really even. The notes were in tune. Um, However, when I look at your thumb, I see that it's straight most of the time. I think at the frog, it can curve a little bit more. It's going to give you more comfort when the bow gets heavy and you bring it to the frog. Like, it sounded fine, but I think for better control, you need to stop doing this and do this. So as you go down bow towards the tip, your fingers kind of release the bow a little bit. So it's okay for the thumb to get straight. But as you come back to the frog, it has to get curved again. And let me show you. So look at my thumb. So it's on the fingertip. Try it again. You don't have to purposely make it really curved. Just keep your finger on the fingertip. Good. What would you like to play next? Sounds good. What's dynamics in the beginning? Mezzo forte, yeah? But when you start playing, it's like a show, theater, and the main character walks through the door. So my question is, do you walk through the door like this? Or do you walk into the door, through the door like this?
The first one?
The first one is a little shy. Sure, it's kind of mezzo forte, but what I want from you is more presence right away. Like closer to forte, like here I am, this is the piece that I'm gonna play. Very good. Well, what did we say that would help your sound? Do you remember? Like the strength of the sound and using more bow. What helps? Tell me.
Closer to the bridge?
That's not what I was referring to. I was referring to your arm. If you look at my elbow, it's on the level of the string. You have to figure out how not to squeeze the bow so it feels natural, so it feels alright. So when you start playing, if it's here, you're gonna use a lot of bow. It's gonna be great. However, if you start and your elbow is there, it can just go so far because of the muscles. Like you can't go past that point. It stops here. So if you look at my elbow and my arm, no, your elbow is lower than your arm. So you have to make sure you don't squeeze the bow. That's gonna help. Especially when you go back. This part, your elbow has to lead the string crossing, not your hand. So basically, you want to work your whole arm as one unit. Well, look. This is how you do the string crossing. So your elbow stays in approximately same level, and your hand goes up. What I need you to do is look at my shoulder. So that big string crossing is initiated right there. Do this for me. Your elbow is still behind. Think from the shoulder. Yes, good, that's it. Do it a few times. Yes, that's right. Wait, so before you start, make sure you don't spread out your fingers, right? So they're nice and loose. The strings hold the bow, so you don't have to hold the bow hard. Place the bow and then start. Will, how much bow are you using? I think about 2 inches. I need you to use like 4 inches. Yeah. And as you move the bow, you have to allow it to move and wiggle inside your hand. Do this for me. Quick bows. So you can push your bow down, just make sure that your fingers are soft. You see, I'm not trying to hold the bow, I'm not trying to spread my fingers. I just put my hand and look. So as I go down bow, I release my fingers. They're not. Open D. More bow, more bow. Yeah, that's it, okay? Keep going, push the bow down just a little bit so it creates more ring. Keep going, don't stop, please don't stop. Push down. Push down. Good. Now do the same in lower. Will. Not here, but now do it here. You did great. This is great. Now do this. Different muscles are gonna work. Beautiful. So you see how much sound?
Yeah.
Big, beautiful sound. Can you take your hoodie off because I can't see your whole arm? There we go. All right, so now two bows on D, two bows on A, two bows on E. What do you notice? It gets awkward, doesn't it? Kind of, yes. So what you have to do, let's start from D and A first. I want you to watch my arm, Will, and the bow. And the hand. I still use a lot of bow, right? It's very easy for the bow to get stuck when you change strings. When there are a lot of string crossings, it's very easy to let your arm get stuck. You have to keep the bow moving even when you cross. So now I want you to go back and forth in between D and A. Yeah, do not hold the bow with your hand. The faster the bow moves, the more you have to allow it to move in your hand. Usually, when we lose control, the reflex is to hold harder. Let's think of something. Like if you ride fast on a bicycle. Do you ride bicycle?
No.
I don't know what example to give. Anyway, when we feel like we're losing control or we get scared, we hold on to things harder. With violin, actually you have to let it go more. Because if you're trying to hold the bow while you're moving it really fast, you'll get stuck. So you have to make sure that your fingers are not holding the bow. And you're making that motion. Do this for me without the violin, like this. That's right, but your violin is here, so you gotta go this way. Right? From the shoulder, all the way from the shoulder. Yeah. So you see, it moves just fine. That would be like whole bow, what you're doing right now. So once you have your bow in your hand, you have to make sure you let the strings hold the bow. And as you move your bow, it's gonna feel wobbly in your hand. So you shouldn't stop that from happening. You shouldn't be grabbing the bow. Just let it wobble inside your hand. Try again. D, D, A, D, and use a lot of bow. Yeah. Keep going, don't stop. If I say yeah, that means keep going. Beautiful, Will. That's great sound. Now D, D, A, E, A, D, D, A, E, A. Yeah, you just have to make sure as you go from E to D, E, A, D, your shoulder, your elbow goes up with your arm. Yeah, so as you do these string crossings, you don't want to be like this. You want to make sure that your arm moves smoothly. Smoothly, yeah. You don't want to make like sudden changes for each string. Just let it. Like that. Try again. Wait. What were you thinking about just now? What were you focusing on? Tell me, come on. If you don't know, say don't know.
The violin.
How do you focus on the violin? Do you just look at it? Okay, I'm bored now. I'm focusing on the violin.
I don't know.
Good answer. In this case, it's a good answer. Now, you see the violin, the bow, all of that stuff. What's interesting and what's awesome about it is that you shouldn't focus on the same thing too long. What you have to do is you have to switch in between things. That's what makes it interesting. So in this case, I think what's going to make your sound better if you keep the elbow a little higher at first, And then as you go in between the strings, you let your elbow move smoothly instead of like a robot for each string. Look at my elbow. Move smoothly, right? So that's what I want you to focus on. I want you to just focus on your elbow, not on violin, not on your fingers. Yes, don't stop the bow. Don't stop. Use a lot. That's it. Okay. So that doesn't mean, however, that you are going to go home and just focus on that for a whole week. Because that would be very boring and unnecessary, because you don't need that much time to fix it. What you need to do is focus on different things. Each practice is a little different, a little fun, and things like that. All right, cool. Now let's apply that. Minuet number 2. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You are focusing on your fingers. Before you start, you have to take 1 second and make sure your elbow is at the right level, right? And you're ready to move your arm and let the bow wobble in your hand. One and 2 and 3. Two, 2, 3. And remember, we talked about it, that it's not supposed to be da 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 dum bum ba. It's like yelling at someone. Da 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 dum bum ba. This note you can relax. You don't have to use so much bow. Hey, that sounded awesome, by the way. You did great. Like I had nothing to say. It was perfect. 2, 3. Yeah, it's like, what's different about that middle part? Da 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 da. What changes there?
The sound gets softer.
It's not even so important that the sound gets softer, it's important that there's a different character. So what you have to do is stop using so much bow now. And you see, that's the thing. Like if you focus on one aspect of your playing, elbow and lots of bow, then you will go through piano and use a lot of bow too, you know? But for this, be my tutor. Okay.
The elbow has to go higher.
And when you do that little string crossings, does my elbow go with my hand? Or does it stay in the same place?
Stay in the same place.
Why? Didn't I tell you that your elbow should lead the string crossing?
Yes.
Yes. So where did my elbow stay in the same place? Because I'm playing in the middle of the bow, small bow, and I'm not crossing to E string, right? I'm just going from D string to A string, and then back to D string. I don't need that. Can you try? Yeah, don't spread out your fingers so much. Let them relax a little. What do you think?
Better.
I think I like the sound. A little higher in the bow, perhaps? So you're not... That part of the bow is kind of heavy. A little higher in the bow, please. No, it... Very good. Did anything change there?
The sound got louder.
And it's important. Sound gets louder, it gets softer, but what it means, it opens up. If you think about it as opening up rather than just the sound getting louder and softer, then it's gonna help. So at first it's kind of sad. So we're talking about characters, about fun in the music, right? Not just louder and softer. So try again from here. Get louder. And softer. And then beginning loud again. Elbow, elbow. Very good. Stop, stop, stop. Now, also sad, usually we play sad music like that middle section, a little more connected. Not... That sounds sadder than... Sounds like robotic, like a robot. Hello, my name is William. So, let the bow wobble in your hand, keep your fingers marked. Yeah, that's it. Pretty awesome, huh? Not... So you start loud and then... No, up. stop the bow. And a little bit of middle of the bow, and lead that string crossing to D string with your elbow, or even shoulder. Ah, your shoulder didn't move. Go ahead, play. What do you think? That sounded much more. I like how I ask, "What do you think?" and then I jump the gun and tell you what to think. William, what do you think?
Much better.
It sounds very, very refined. So if I were listening behind a curtain, I would think, wow, he must be like 14. Because kids your age don't play like that. Yeah? So you have to make sure that everything sounds very smooth and beautiful. So when you do that string crossing, from the elbow, from the shoulder, keep it light. Higher in the bow, please. In the middle. Yes. Go ahead. Very good, Will. Stop the bow. Not. Don't drag that second note. It's a dance. Good. And then. Slow down. To that part. Hey, your shoulder doesn't move. Like this doesn't move. It sounds so different, doesn't it? It's like two different kids playing. So this is gonna help the strong sound and even the soft sound. This. You've got the recording. I'm not gonna try to summarize what we did today because